So, this will be rounds 3 and 4 of the Winner Trip to London challenge. So, if you haven't already, go and check out rounds 1 and 2, because I will be saying the results as I go, because I'll be saying what happens in each round. So, if you haven't gone and checked that out already, go and watch that if you don't want any spoilers. But you should be watching this in order anyway. Even if you've come late to this, you should probably still watch it in order. So, go and watch them first. But I am currently 2-0. In the tournament, so I'm going to be facing Moon7777 here. That's a mouthful to say, but I'm going to be leading off with my Mandibuzz and Tapu Lele against his Tapu Koko and Mimikyu. So because my Lele is Choice Scarfed, he's going to get his Electric Terrain first, and I have already revealed I'm Choice Scarf. And a Moonblast outside, well, you don't have terrain to boost Moonblast, but I can't knock out this Tapu Koko in one shot. And basically, I just don't want any Twinkle Tackles here, because I was kind of expecting a Volt Switch and Trick Room. But yeah, he's going to be Twinkle Tackle, and my Mandibuzz just drops. I'm pretty sure the critical hit doesn't matter. So here, I kind of expect his Koko to protect, because I have revealed I'm Scarfed. So he would want to preserve it as he knocks out my Lele, and then his Koko would still be the fastest thing. But he makes a nice play and just attacks my Lele to knock it out. I have broken the Mimikyu's Disguise, but he does miss Play Rough as well, which is fortunate. But Electric Terrain boosted Thunderbolt from Circuitry is enough to knock out Mimikyu. So he is going to bring in his Gyarados here, and I'm going to bring in my Garchomp. So I'm going to go for Tech Rage into Koko because it covers a Marowak switch, which means I will be able to get the Thunderbolt off into Gyarados. But he doesn't switch. He's going to let his Koko get knocked out to kind of an overkill Tectonic Rage, but he's going to Waterfall my Xurkitree as well. Now, with that damage, if the Play Rough would have hit, then I don't know if the Play Rough plus Thunderbolt would have activated my berry, but I don't think it would have done. And so that Play Rough miss was quite fortunate, because it did allow my Xurkitree to make it through the turn and get the knockout onto the Gyarados. So now I have won the match. I'm pretty sure I would have lost if the Play Rough would have connected and I didn't get my berry from the Thunderbolts, but I'm just going to keep protecting with my Garchomp because I have revealed Tectonic Rage, so obviously I have Earthquake. So I don't want to reveal any more information. I could go for a Protect and Earthquake onto his Muck, but I do just need Thunderbolt to knock it out, and a -1 Earthquake wouldn't knock out Muck, so the quickest way is to just keep protecting with Garchomp over and over, because that way I don't reveal my other two moves unnecessarily, because an Electric Terrain boosted Thunderbolt at +2 is definitely enough to knock out Muck, so just preserving some information there. But going into Game 2, he's going to lead exactly the same. He's going to lead Tapu Koko and Mimikyu, and I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to lead Arcanine and Tapu Lele. Also, I hope you appreciate that I found out how to slow down replays, because now I can actually fit more thoughts in, where I was rushing before. But I'm going to go for Helping Hand Moonblast, because that is enough to take out a Tapu Koko. So that's really nice, because I hadn't revealed Arcanine at all, so he didn't know I had Helping Hand. He's going to go for Swords Dance, but I do have a nice little move on my Arcanine to help out with that. So I'm going to break the Disguise of the Mimikyu, and I'm also going to go for a Will-O-Wisp, so my Tapu Lele would make it through the turn. But yeah, Will-O-Wisp is not the most accurate, and he is able to knock out my Tapu Lele with a non-burns Twinkle Tackle at +1. And he is also going to go for a second Swords Dance, a first Swords Dance with the second Mon, with his Marowak. So, but that's really useful because I got Mandibuzz in the back, so I can foul play KO things. He's going to miss his own Will-O-Wisp, so I land mine and he misses his. So we kind of missed traded a miss for a Will-O-Wisp there. But because he did miss, the foul play is enough to knock out the Mimikyu, because the burn on him doesn't affect the foul play damage. The burn on me would, so I wouldn't have knocked him out there. So that was quite a fortunate dodge as well. But here, I just need to land a foul play on the Marowak and I'll win. So I just need to break through this flinch from the waterfall. Please don't flinch. Please don't flinch. And I don't flinch. So I do get to knock out the Marowak because it did Swords Dance. And the Rock Tomb did cover a potential Dragon Dance play from Gyarados. So now I do have the match. Because he is slower than my Mandibuzz now after the Rock Tomb, then the foul play is enough to knock out the Gyarados with a second Rock Tomb. So managed to take that game. I did get quite fortunate with the Play Rough miss. I haven't done the calc whether Play Rough plus Thunderbolt would have activated my Xurkitree's berry, and if it wouldn't have done, then that would have lost me the match. And then in the second game, we did trade a Will-O-Wisp miss each, but I think his mattered a bit more, because then his Mimikyu wouldn't have been knocked out, and then I wouldn't have been able to knock out his Marowak either with a foul play, because I'd have been burned, which would have cancelled out his +2. And foul play usually does, what, 70% to Marowaks if you're just at neutral. So did get quite fortunate in that match, but we take those. And now moving on to round 4 more like. So what happens is there's the round starts, and then I think it's either 10 minutes, I think it's 15 minutes though. I think it's a 15-minute wait, and if your opponent hasn't responded or showed up at all, then you get the activity win. So I message the guy, and then he doesn't turn up. So I wait the 15 minutes, then I message Zelda and say, hey, my opponent isn't here, can I have this win please? But unfortunately for me, I did not activate timestamps on my messages. So even though I had a screenshot of me having said, hey, I'm your opponent, when do you want to face? Yeah, I didn't have the timestamp, so I couldn't prove that I didn't literally just send that message and then say that I want the activity win. So that was definitely a mistake on my part. The guy showed up over 20 minutes late to the match, but because I didn't timestamp, then we did have to play this round. So here it is. So unfortunate for me, but I'm going to learn from that. I'm activating timestamps on all of my showdown things now, so no more mistakes like that in the future. But Mandibuzz Lele against his Nihilego and Hariyama. So basically, I'm just hoping for no Sash on his Nihilego at this point, because I do outspeed and I can just knock it out like that. So most likely Nightfall, unless it's one of the bulky Super Berry ones. I don't know if it would be on this team. Maybe it's a slow Choice Scarf one, not sure, but that does put me in a really nice position, because he can fake out my Mandibuzz in the air, but now I can just get a Psychic into the Hariyama slot. Pretty much free. It's usually Assault Vested or no Protect on Hariyama, but even though the Tapu Lele comes in, I do double into that slot, because if he stayed in with Hariyama, then the Foul Play would have gone onto the Arcanine, and if he switched out to something, then something else was taking a Foul Play, and it did put the Tapu Lele into range of a second Psychic, so I can safely Psychic into that slot again. And I'm going for Tailwind so that my Mandibuzz was going to be faster than his Lele and his Arcanine, so I can get some Foul Plays off. But he's going to fake out my Mandibuzz again, because he still can, but he's going to drop to the Psychic Terrain boosted Psychic, so I've pretty much won this game at this point. He does knock out my Tapu Lele with a Flare Blitz, but I do have Garchomp in the back, so I'm pretty sure I've locked up this match, and he decides that I have as well, so he's going to forfeit that one. But going into Game 2, I know what he's going to do, and I can't really stop it, because he would have worked out that Trick Room is his way to win. And my way of stopping Trick Room is Whirlwind on Mandibuzz. But if he leads Hariyama, he can fake out my Mandibuzz, even if I have my Psychic Terrain. So he is guaranteed Trick Room here, unfortunately. So I'm going to try and knock out his Pokemon as quickly as possible. So I'm going to knock out the Hariyama. I'm going to trade Hariyama for him setting up Trick Room, or he's going to trade Hariyama for setting up Trick Room, more like. But now, because I am Choice Scarfed, I don't want to switch anything into the Liquidation. He's going to knock out my Tapu Lele there. I do go for a Roost here with Mandibuzz, and I think I Roost way too much in this match, because I'm basically just trying to burn the Hydro Vortex from the Araquanid. But he's going to Liquidation my Xurkitree. It's not going to knock me out, which is really good. Even the double of Liquidation and Tri-Attack doesn't knock me out, and Thunderbolt is not enough to knock out the Araquanid. I just need to Foul Play that Araquanid, and I go for a useless Roost. So that was definitely a misplay on my part. I'm still trying to burn this Hydro Vortex that isn't coming, and he gets a critical hit with his Liquidation as well. Not too important, because I think I go for another Roost, of course. But yeah, I just need to get a Foul Play onto that Araquanid. This is the final turn of Trick Room. I am going to lose my Xurkitree here. Didn't go for a Double Protect. I probably should have gone for a Double Protect, because if I got it, then that would have been pretty decent. But yeah, like I've only got my dying Mandibuzz here and my Garchomp. I don't have a way of knocking out his Porygon anymore. I think I go for a Whirlwind here, just to try and stop the Trick Room this time. No, I go for another Roost, because that's totally necessary. But it turns out that his non-special attack boosted Ice Beam is enough to knock out my Garchomp. So that's good information going into Game 3. But yeah, I have lost this match at this point. Roosted, what, 3 times with Mandibuzz, and 2 of them were kind of unnecessary. If I'd have got that Foul Play onto the Araquanid, that would have put me in a much better position. But yeah, we'll go into Game 3 here. And I expect him to go with exactly the same, because he can get Trick Room. Like, he can guarantee Trick Room if he sacks his Hariyama. But he's going to go with Nihilego here instead with his, of his Hariyama. So I can still Psychic into that slot. And he doesn't opt to go for a Trick Room here. So just to protect on Nihilego, I am still going to Psychic, because I know that knocks it out. And I was Whirlwinding. Yeah, I was Whirlwinding his Porygon too, because I do need to stop Trick Room this time. And because he doesn't have his Hariyama, I can Whirlwind his Porygon. But so I'm going to Psychic against the Nihilego again, because that is still a knockout. I don't need to predict or anything, because if anything comes in, it's going to take a lot of damage from the Psychic. But Moonblast special attack drop is actually pretty bad, because it means that I can't knock out his Porygon with a Psychic and Foul Play anymore. So I do need to switch out my Tapu Lele. I'm going to let my Xurkitree take a huge amount of damage, just above Berry range as well. And I'm going to Whirlwind again. I do need to stop Trick Room. I can't let Trick Room go up at all, else I'll probably lose. But yeah, he recovers on my Whirlwind, which was smart of him. Still Foul Playing into the Tapu Lele, even though I've learned that Foul Play and Thunderbolt is enough to knock out Araquanid. I am doubling into the Tapu Lele here, so obviously predicting a Protect from Araquanid, but there was no Protect. But yeah, now I've lost my Whirlwind, so I do need this Psychic Terrain boosted Psychic and +1 Thunderbolt to knock out this Porygon too, else I will definitely lose, and it is not enough. just not enough. So I just need a little bit more strength there. It was a good play not protecting and Trick Rooming, because I could have doubled into the Arachnid there. And as he went for Trick Room. And then he would have had his Nihilego in Trick Room, which would have been a bit awkward for him. But he would have had his Porygon 2 in Trick Room. And we have seen that Ice Beam is enough to knock out Garchomp. So I have pretty much lost this match now. He's going to recover. So maybe if I'd have gone for Tech Rage into the Porygon 2 there, I would have had a chance. But yeah, now I'm going to get a Double Protect, which give me a fighting shot if he goes for Recover again. Pretty sure I Tech Rage this time, but he is going to Ice Beam. And even without the special attack boost, he is going to be able to knock out my Garchomp here. So I do lose this match, and that is really, really frustrating because he turned up extremely late, and all I had to do was timestamp on my showdown, and I had this round, and I would have gone 4-0, and I only needed two more wins, but this puts me down to 3-1 in the tournament now, which is really unfortunate because I was feeling really good for my other matches, and then this one was very, very demoralizing. So gonna have to find out tomorrow how I pick myself up, if I can pick myself up, but we will see. Thanks for watching.